Representative Aaron Schock, thanks for joining us on the Illinois Channel. We recently aired the retirement announcement of Congressman Ray LaHood of the 18th District. He is your congressman, and the speculation was that you were going to run, and apparently you've decided that you will be running to seek his seat. What can you tell us about your thoughts?
Well, I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm passionate about serving people and advocating for their needs, whether it be through constituent work or whether it be passing legislation. I've been able to do that the last several terms here in Springfield in the State House. Prior to that, 4 years on a local school board. So I think with my experience in local government and state government, that I'll be in a good position to serve the people in the 18th District in Congress.
You have had, for those who haven't heard your background, an interesting background for such a young person. How old are you presently?
26.
I believe you're probably still the youngest member of the legislature. You were, 23 when you were first elected?
That's correct, yes.
And you took over the school board budget for the Peoria schools at what age?
19.
How was it that you happened to accomplish that?
Well, I've never had an easy race. At 19, I ran against the incumbent school board president. As you know, I was taken off the ballot on a technicality. I had to run as a write-in candidate. We knocked on over 13,000 doors and got 6,406 people to write my name on the ballot to win my school board seat. 2 years after being on the school board, my colleagues elected me vice president. A year later, they unanimously elected me president. I showed an ability to be able to work with people, to build consensus, and to move the district forward, and that's ultimately why my colleagues asked me to serve as their president. Served on the board for 4 years and then ultimately ran for the state legislature, challenging an 8-year incumbent in a 59% Democrat district, I as a Republican candidate for the House. As you know, that was the #1 targeted race. It set a new state record in terms of spending. The Chicago machine came in and spent $980,000 against me. We were outspent by over $200,000, and I ended up winning that race with just 235 vote difference over the incumbent. So coming into my next election cycle, again, I was the #1 target, had a very tough race, but again, worked very hard in my district, providing good constituent work, passed 13 pieces of legislation in my first term, which was more than any other Republican or Democrat freshman. And again, a Republican legislator in a Democrat-controlled House, a Democrat-controlled Senate, and a Democrat governor. Very similar to what's happening out in Washington, D.C. So I think I've shown an ability to get things done in very difficult circumstances. Was reelected in my last election in my district with 59% of the vote. So clearly, the voters in my area have been happy with my performance. I've certainly made my share of mistakes. I'm a human being, but I will not apologize for being a very hard worker. And when I believe in something and I want to advocate for it, I work very hard, whether it's working a bill on the floor or whether it's working the phones for a constituent in need in my district. So I'm very excited when this opportunity opened up for me to be able to expand the territory that I represent, the number of constituents that I represent, and to commit that same work ethic and that same determination to the voters in the 18th District.
Have you talked to Congressman LaHood about your decision to seek his position?
I have.
What did he give you a blessing? Was he neutral or what?
I will say that he encouraged me to run, and we'll see what he decides to do in the primary. I'm confident that he will support whomever the Republican primary voters select as their candidate. So I've never really relied on endorsements to win elections, both when I ran for the school board and when I ran for the state legislature. I got very few endorsements. I intend to go out and ask the voters for their endorsement, their vote of confidence, because ultimately that's what wins elections.